Today, I'm here to tell you guys what Investors Business Daily thinks of ticker symbol AMC. And for those of you guys that do not know, Investors Business Daily costs $35 per month. And because it is so expensive, a lot of people do not know about the information that I'm going to be talking about in just a few seconds. So it's important that you guys really watch through the entire video and don't skip a second of it. Otherwise, you guys could be really confused about next week if the price continues to go really high. And also, Investors Business Daily continues to be advertised throughout CNBC. CNBC keeps on promoting Investors Business Daily just because of how amazing of a company it is. Also, guys, if you guys know who Kathy Wood is, if you guys want all of her alerts within each one of her ETFs, for example, what stock she's buying, what stock she's selling, how many shares of a stock she's selling, how many shares of a stock she's buying, usually costs a lot of money to get those alerts, but I will be giving away all of them for free at the end of each one of my videos. So make sure you guys subscribe, and enough talk with that. Let's talk about what IBD thinks about AMC. So right off the bat, IBD says that AMC closed at 26.12, around that area. Let's just round that to $26. Volume 660 million shares traded. And look at this, guys. They even tell you the percentage. So the volume percentage increased 551%. That is insane. I can't believe it. And IBD gives AMC a rating of 61. I think it is 61 out of 100, so not too bad. That is just what I believe, though. And then also, if we go down here, the group leadership, AMC is rated number 9 in this category about movie theaters, and Roku is number 1. Now, being ranked number 9 is not bad at all, considering AMC is being competed against Roku. Roku is, I think, like 300 or $400 dollars a share, whereas AMC is just 26. It was at 36 at all-time highs, but which I think it will be retesting that level again. But enough with that. Let's talk about IBD's ratings, and then over here is what I really want to talk about, and I don't think anyone is paying attention to what IBD says right over here. So for the ratings, IBD gives AMC a 61 rating and their earnings per share of 22 as just its rating. And then right here is what I was talking about. So I don't think a lot of people understand about AMC's float and AMC shares outstanding. So, in my previous videos, I talked about how AMC had an 80% ownership by retail traders. And that is a phenomenal statistic. And it really goes to show how much control the retail traders have over the institutions. And so, what a lot of people think is going to happen next week is that the share percentage of shorts, meaning how many more people are going to short AMC, is going to increase. And increasing the short percentage is not bad at all because when more people decide to buy AMC, the shorts will have to cover their position and end up buying it again. But I think a lot of people already know this. What I really want to talk about is the irony how the United States decided to basically get a $49 trillion insurance against the stock market. And a lot of people are saying that AMC could go to $100,000. So if you guys take these shares outstanding, 450 million, and you times it by $100,000 because that is the theoretical share price in the future, that gives you $45 trillion. And the United States wants to get a $49 trillion insurance against the stock market. So it is very ironic, and it kind of makes you think, is the United States trying to prepare itself for the massive uprise that could happen in AMC? Well, we're just going to have to find out next week what really happens to AMC, whether the price does continue to go up or whether it goes down. But even if the price goes down temporarily, the United States could possibly be getting their $49 trillion as like their insurance because they might think that AMC could go up in the near future. So it's not everything that happens next week, guys, because if you guys remember, the share price of AMC went really high in January. Then it fell down, and when it fell down, I was buying it around $4 and $3 a share. However, the price went back up. And so, what I really think is happening with AMC is that AMC works in cycles. And we saw this happen with GameStop. One week GameStop would go up, the next week it would go down. One week it went up, the next week it would go down. And again, AMC is a reopening play. So I think that even regardless of what happens temporarily with AMC, I think because it is a reopening play, it will continue to do well with all the other airline companies, with all the other carnival companies, and I think that this stock will flourish in the future. I think that regardless of what happens, with the momentum of retail traders, I think this company will continue to do well. And some people are even talking about bankruptcy for AMC. Well, that is the same exact thing that they were talking about when I was buying it at $4 and when many of you guys were buying it at $4 as well. Because in my previous videos, I was saying that in my opinion, $4 was a pretty good support level, and so that's just what I decided to do. And I stated that I wasn't a financial advisor either, but a lot of you guys ended up taking the trade as well, and you guys decided to buy in at $4 as well. And so again, now they're trying to say that AMC could go bankrupt again, but this is just repeated information. So really, it depends on what you guys do with these articles, which brings me to my next point, guys, because now I'm going to talk about what other people on IBD are saying about AMC. So this is another IBD article, and I'm only going to be talking about IBD articles because it is a reliable source in my opinion. I think that's why it costs so much, and I think that's why CNBC just continues to promote the company. And so basically, this IBD article states, will AMC stock keep rallying in the long term? And so the article states that movie theaters open across the country, and because there will be more seats available, Wall Street is banking on a tremendous rebound in the top line. And so basically, again, this is reiterating the thesis that I was talking about before. So for anyone stressing, in my opinion, I don't think that your stress is really necessary because AMC is, a reopening play at the end of the day. The next IBD article basically talks about what could have happened if you had invested $10,000 in AMC when it was near its bottom. And so this article continues to state that AMC stock is not in the S&P 500, but how would it rank with a question mark? So it's basically questioning how AMC would perform in the S&P 500. And so this information is just basically for humor. It's pretty funny, but it is actually could give you some context as to how AMC is as a company, and just gives you some insight because as you can see here, the article states that AMC's stock market value would be 445 within the S&P 500 index of large cap stocks. But even so, it's not in the S&P 500. Yes, we know that, but basically why I decided to basically tell you guys about this is because even if AMC did decide to get in the S&P 500, which is in my opinion the best performing index, Warren Buffett loves this index. It is basically a collection of the best 500 stocks in the stock market. AMC would not even place last place if it were actually in the S&P 500. And this is pretty insightful because again, as AMC decides to go up, there is definitely going to be a lot of people complaining and saying a lot of negative things about AMC because they were the ones shorting the stock. Well, if you take a look at AMC, it would not even place last place in the S&P 500. And so for the stock of the day, guys, I'm going to be talking about ticker symbol SQ, or in other words, Square. Now, Kathy Wood loves this stock. It is also one of the top stocks in her ETFs across many of them, except ARKG, obviously, because ARKG is their genomic stock, so it wouldn't really make sense to have Square, which is a fintech stock, in the ARKG ETF. So Square is in 3 of their ETFs, and it is ranked number 3. And so they have been buying Square in ARK, which is their innovation stock. In the beginning of April, they had roughly 6.6 million shares, or you could just round that to 6.7. And then now they have 4.5 million shares roughly, if you just round that. So obviously there is a decrease in the share amount that they've been holding. And you guys can see their portfolio allocation right here. They kept it relatively the same, or actually you could say that they decreased it because at one point they had it as like 7% and now they have it more towards 4. So one of the reasons why I think Square actually has been decreasing in the ARK ETFs is because ARK Invest is trying to reallocate as much money as they can into their top conviction stocks. And this makes sense because growth stocks have been getting a lot of negative price action within these past 3 months. Growth stocks have not been the most favorable stocks recently. What people are really turning now towards is the reopening stocks like AMC, like Carnival Cruise Line, and like the airline stocks. So, what ARK Invest is doing is, I think, in my opinion, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor, that's just what I think, but I think ARK Invest is putting as much money as they can into Tesla. And if we take a look at ARKW, I think they also decreased their position in Square. So they had 1.7 million shares and now they have 1.15, and their portfolio allocation went from 6 to 4. And in ARKF, which is their fintech stock, I definitely think that Square has been pretty much the same because after all this is their fintech stock, which makes sense because that is exactly what Square is. And so in this ETF, I think ARK Invest has been keeping their share amount the same because again, this is their fintech ETF. So in the beginning of April, they had roughly 1.8 million shares and now they have 1.6. So really it's not that big of a difference, and their portfolio allocation still remains relatively the same, which makes a lot of sense. They had at the highest point they had almost 12% and now they have almost 10%. So again, this all makes complete sense. And with that being said, guys, I am now going to end the video here. If you guys want to know what other stocks Kathy Wood and her team have been buying or selling, make sure you guys comment that ticker symbol down below in the comment section. And again, thanks again for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.